Have you ever wondered what life would feel like if you could stop letting other people's opinions, unexpected events, or daily frustrations control your emotions? Imagine waking up in the morning and moving through your day with a calm, unshakable confidence, no matter what chaos is swirling around you. Sounds impossible? Well, it isn't, and today, you're going to learn exactly how to get there. Welcome to a world where you reclaim your peace of mind. In this video, we're diving deep into one of the most powerful and liberating ideas from the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, the art of not caring. But before you think this is about becoming cold or indifferent, let's clarify, it's about learning to care wisely. It's about choosing what deserves your energy, your emotions, and your attention, and letting the rest pass like clouds in the sky. When you master this art, you take full command of yourself. No one else can pull your strings. No circumstance can hijack your mood. You become the master of your inner world. So, stay with me until the end, because we'll uncover 15 timeless Stoic lessons that will show you how to cultivate this powerful mindset. Trust me, by the time you finish this video, you'll see life through an entirely different lens. And hey, before we jump in, thank you so much for being here. I genuinely appreciate your time. If you enjoy videos that challenge your thinking and help you build a stronger, calmer mind, be sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a good time to do it. Tap that bell icon so you never miss out on future life-changing Stoic insights. Alright, let's get started. Lesson number 1. Focus on what you can control. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm. Wind howling, rain lashing against your skin. The world in turmoil around you. Now, you can scream at the clouds, beg the rain to stop, or curse the wind, but none of that will change the weather. What you can control, however, is whether you stand there shivering or calmly open an umbrella. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, the chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I actually control. Whenever life throws something your way that stirs anger, frustration, or fear, pause, take a slow, deep breath. Then, ask yourself, what part of this situation can I influence? And what part is beyond me? Focus your energy on adjusting your attitude, your perspective, and your reaction. Release your grip on everything else, the opinions of others, the outcome of events, the unchangeable past, or the unpredictable future. Clinging to what's out of your hands only leads to unnecessary suffering. It's like trying to hold water in your palm, no matter how tightly you squeeze. It slips through your fingers. True freedom begins the moment you accept the limits of your control. Now, that doesn't mean you stop caring about life altogether. Of course, work to improve your circumstances when it makes sense. Strive to better yourself and help those around you. But do so without being attached to a specific result, especially when that result depends on factors outside your control. Your peace of mind should come from living in alignment with your values, not from bending the world to your will. Lesson no. 2. Accept that life is imperfect. We humans love predictability. We crave order, neat plans, and happy endings. But here's a hard truth: life doesn't play by our rules. People will disappoint you, things will go wrong, and suffering is an inevitable part of the human experience. When you expect everything to be flawless, when you demand perfection from life, yourself, or others, you're setting yourself up for endless frustration. It's like insisting the ocean remain perfectly still when its nature is to ebb and flow. The more you fight against reality, the more it fights back. The Stoics teach us to expect life's messiness and embrace it, instead of judging every setback, mistake, or misfortune as something bad. See it for what it is, part of the natural order. Just as a sculptor shapes a statue by chipping away at marble. Life shapes us through challenges. When someone lets you down or things fall apart, don't waste your energy wishing it were otherwise. Focus on how you respond. Show compassion to others, because we all carry flaws. And extend that same kindness to yourself. You'll stumble, you'll fail. That's not weakness, it's the mark of being human. Progress isn't a straight line. It moves in fits and starts, like a tide rising and falling before it finally reaches the shore. Accepting life's imperfections doesn't mean giving up on growth. It means being motivated by the desire to improve, rather than punishing yourself for every setback. Ask yourself this: when was the last time everything in your life went exactly as planned? Probably never. And yet, you've survived, you've adapted, you've grown. Have faith in your ability to navigate the storms ahead. Perfection is a fantasy. Life is messy, unpredictable, and often unfair, but it's also beautiful, wild, and endlessly surprising. The sooner you make peace with its imperfections, the freer you'll be. In our last lesson, we talked about accepting life's imperfections, learning to stop fighting against the unpredictable nature of reality. By embracing what is, rather than endlessly wishing for what isn't, you open up space in your mind for peace, clarity, and wisdom, and it's from this place of calm acceptance that you gain the strength to move through life's ups and downs with grace. Now, let's build on that foundation. Lesson No. 3. Practice mindfulness. Have you ever caught yourself replaying an old memory in your head for the 100th time? Or perhaps anxiously imagining worst-case scenarios about a future that hasn't even happened yet? It's something we all do. And yet, every second spent lost in the past or worried about the future steals away the only thing we truly have, the present moment. The Stoics taught that this moment, right here and now, is the only time that actually exists. Everything else is either a memory or a fantasy. Whenever you notice your mind wandering, whether it's reliving an old argument or predicting tomorrow's problems, gently guide your attention back to what's happening around you right now. What can you see? What sounds are in the air? How does the chair you're sitting on feel against your skin? This simple act of presence brings you back to life's real canvas, the present. Regular mindfulness practice is like weightlifting for your attention. The more you practice, the stronger your ability to stay rooted in the now becomes. One powerful tool for this is meditation. Find a quiet place, sit comfortably, and close your eyes. Focus on the natural rhythm of your breath as it flows in and out. Inevitably, thoughts will arise. Don't scold yourself for them. Simply notice them, like leaves floating down a stream, and gently return your attention to your breath. The more you stay grounded in the present, the more vibrant and vivid life becomes. Colors seem brighter, sounds feel crisper, even small moments, like the warmth of morning sunlight on your face, the aroma of fresh coffee, or the laughter of a friend, become rich, priceless experiences. And while it's wise to plan for the future, don't let tomorrow steal today from you. By mindfully engaging with each moment as it arrives, you build resilience and a quiet confidence that whatever comes next, you'll be ready for it. Life unfolds one breath at a time. Stay with it. Lesson No. 4. Perspective is everything. It's astonishing how much of our suffering comes not from events themselves, but from how we perceive them. When something upsetting happens, it's all too easy to get swept up in a wave of emotion, anger, frustration, sadness, and react without thinking. But the Stoics remind us to pause, take a step back, and view the situation through a wider, calmer lens. When you feel yourself emotionally charged, resist the instinct to lash out or immediately vent. Take a deep, steadying breath. Picture yourself rising above the scene, like a bird soaring high above the noise. From this elevated view, you can begin to see the situation more clearly. Ask yourself, is my response proportional to what actually happened? How will this matter a week from now? A year? Will you even remember it? What would a wise, thoughtful person do in this moment? This mental habit creates space between your immediate, reactive emotions and the event itself. And in that space lies the power to choose a better response. It doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. Your emotions are valid. But don't let them take the wheel. Acknowledge them, and then decide how you want to proceed. As the philosopher Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, if you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your own judgment of them, and it is in your power to wipe out that judgment. It's remarkable when you realize that you always have a choice in how you see the world. Even the most painful events can offer lessons, if you look for them. That's not to say hardship is easy, but it can be meaningful. So next time life knocks you off balance, pause, breathe, step outside yourself, view the scene like a director watching a film. Would you let this single moment ruin the entire story? Lesson no. 5. Let go of entitlement. If we're honest, most of us walk through life with a quiet, unspoken belief that things should go our way. That if we work hard, if we're kind, if we plan carefully, life will reward us with the outcomes we desire. And when it doesn't, when plans unravel or things fall apart, we feel cheated. Sound familiar? But the Stoics remind us that life owes us nothing. Destiny unfolds as it will, not as we demand. The universe doesn't operate according to our personal schedules or preferences. When you notice yourself growing frustrated because something didn't go the way you expected, pause. Ask yourself, was I assuming a guaranteed outcome here? Was I acting as if the world should bend to my wishes? If so, remind yourself gently that nothing in life is promised, not health, not wealth, not recognition, not even tomorrow. Recognizing this isn't pessimistic, it's freeing. It allows you to stop chasing illusions and start appreciating what you have right now. It lets you engage with life as it is, rather than resenting it for not being what you imagined. By letting go of entitlement, you remove a major source of your own suffering. Disappointment shrinks, frustration fades, and what's left is gratitude for the moments you do receive, however imperfect they may be. In our last reflection, we learn to release the illusion of entitlement, to stop expecting life to deliver exactly what we demand and instead focus on how we respond to what's within our reach. Now, let's build on that wisdom by exploring how to gracefully navigate life's inevitable changes and how to judge others and ourselves with care. Lesson no. 6. Accept change. One of the simplest yet hardest truths to accept is this: nothing in life stays the same. Change is stitched into the very fabric of existence. Seasons turn, people evolve, relationships shift, and eventually, everything you now hold in your hands will either transform or slip away. And yet, how often do we resist it? How often do we cling desperately to the way things used to be, as if holding on tightly enough could freeze a moment in time? But no amount of wishing can keep things exactly as they are. The Stoics, wise in their understanding of life's impermanence, taught us to reflect deeply on this unavoidable truth. Aging, loss, and even death come for us all. Situations shift without warning. The wheel of life turns whether we ask it to or not. When you notice yourself fighting change, wishing a relationship was still like it was years ago, or resenting a new chapter you didn't choose, pause. Take a breath. Remind yourself that resisting the fundamental nature of life only multiplies your suffering. It's like standing in a river, trying to hold back the current with your bare hands. After mindfully acknowledging the change, Move towards accepting it, not with resignation, but with courage, because hidden within every change is an opportunity dressed up as difficulty. A closed door isn't the end, it's a pivot point toward something you couldn't have imagined yet. Of course, honor what has passed, allow yourself to grieve for what's been lost. Whether it's a person, a phase of life, or a version of yourself. But don't become trapped mourning a world that no longer exists. Shift your gaze to the possibilities ahead. As the philosopher Seneca wisely wrote, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Trust the cycles of life. Endings, as painful as they can be, carve space for beginnings of extraordinary worth, often ones you wouldn't have chosen, but later realize you needed. By embracing life's constant state of motion, you develop resilience, you stay nimble, able to adapt, and respond with wisdom as situations evolve around you. And isn't that what strength truly looks like? Lesson 0.7. Judge judiciously. It's far too easy to sit in quiet judgment of others, to point out mistakes, roll our eyes at flaws, or quietly condemn people for the way they speak, act, or live. But here's the thing, harsh judgment often reveals more about us than it does about them. Before you criticize someone, pause, ask yourself, is this really about them? Or is it about me? Could this irritation be rooted in my own insecurities, arrogance, or petty preferences? Is what I'm condemning a harmless quirk that simply doesn't align with my personal taste? Examine your motives. Why does this bother me so much? Could it be that their behavior reminds me of something in myself I haven't fully accepted? Or is it possible that cultural differences, personal history, or circumstances I don't understand are shaping their actions? Remember too that people in pain often unintentionally cause pain. We all carry invisible wounds. And more often than not, what looks like rudeness, thoughtlessness, or odd behavior is someone doing the best they can with the tools they have in that moment. Hold off on judgment until you've metaphorically walked a mile in their shoes. Better yet, focus your criticism on actions that clearly involve injustice, cruelty, or genuine harm, things that cause real suffering, not trivial annoyances. Even then, aim not just to condemn, but to understand. What led this person to behave this way? Is there a deeper story behind the surface? When you approach situations with curiosity rather than condemnation, you open doors to insight, teaching moments, and sometimes even reconciliation. As Marcus Aurelius once advised, whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? The point isn't to excuse harmful actions. It's to ensure that our judgments are fair, thoughtful, and tempered with humility, because none of us is perfect, and the very flaw you scorn in others may one day visit you too. In our last reflection, we explored the importance of withholding harsh judgment, reminding ourselves to look for understanding over condemnation, and to temper our opinions with humility. Now, let's carry that spirit of compassion forward as we face life's daily encounters and learn to forgive, laugh, and focus inward. Lesson 0.8. Prepare for people's flaws. Each morning, before you even step out the door or glance at your phone, remind yourself, today, I will encounter people who are meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly, not because the world is a cruel place, but because many people simply haven't learned to distinguish good from evil. They're caught in their own confusion, just as we sometimes are. By setting this expectation, you protect your peace of mind. When the difficult coworker criticizes unfairly, or a stranger snaps at you in traffic, you'll meet it not with surprise, but with calm tolerance. After all, aren't we all flawed in our own ways? Of course, that doesn't mean ignoring harmful behavior. If you see an opportunity to offer kind, constructive feedback that could genuinely help someone grow, do so with compassion. But avoid nitpicking over minor flaws or subjective preferences. Life is too short to waste energy correcting harmless quirks or harmless differences in taste. Instead, focus on nurturing growth in those around you by emphasizing their potential more than their shortcomings. When you choose to see what someone might become, rather than fixating on what they currently lack, you foster encouragement and positivity in your environment. And isn't that the kind of influence worth having? Lesson 9. Forgive others. At some point, you will be wronged. It's an inevitable part of the human experience. But clinging to bitterness and resentment only poisons your own spirit. As Nelson Mandela wisely observed, resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. While it's right to seek justice if you've been genuinely mistreated, be careful not to confuse justice with vengeance. The desire to get even often keeps you energetically chained to the very pain you're trying to escape. Forgiveness isn't about condoning bad behavior or forcing reconciliation where it isn't safe or appropriate. It's about setting yourself free. Internally, you can forgive by letting go of bitterness. Even if you never speak to the person again, wish them well from a distance if needed, not for their sake, but for your own peace. Consider this: people who hurt others are often carrying wounds of their own. The one who wronged you may be haunted by unresolved trauma, insecurities, or regrets they don't know how to manage. That doesn't excuse their behavior, but it invites compassion alongside self-protection. To release anger, look beneath it. What unmet need is fueling your rage? Is it a longing for security, respect, validation, or belonging? How can you nurture that need in healthy, constructive ways, rather than clinging to destructive emotions? As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Forgiveness, then, is an act of self-love. It breaks cycles of revenge and resentment, allowing wounds to finally begin healing. It takes courage and patience. But when you let go of past grievances, you open up new space for peace in your present and future. Lesson 9.10. Laugh often. Life, with all its absurdities, frustrations, and irony, offers endless opportunities for laughter, if you're willing to look for them. In fact, the ability to laugh at the little mishaps and contradictions of life is one of the most underrated survival skills we have. When hard times hit, seek out humor, watch a silly animal video, share a ridiculous joke with a friend. Catch yourself chuckling at the sheer weirdness of a situation that might have otherwise driven you to despair. After all, haven't you noticed how a single moment of laughter can break the tension of even the darkest day? Don't lose your capacity for playfulness and amusement. The world can be heavy, but your spirit doesn't have to be. Being able to see the humor in adversity sparks creativity, fuels imagination, and reminds you not to take yourself too seriously. Shared laughter, too, has a magical way of bridging divides. It affirms our shared humanity when we chuckle at the same silly moments or laugh at the common messiness of being human. As Seneca wisely put it, if you have a cheerful heart, smile and laugh at everything. Laughter softens adversity's sharp edges. Problems shrink when viewed through a lens of humor. Of course, let life touch you deeply, including its pain, but remember to balance it with laughter's healing medicine. Levity lifts us from despair and helps us bear what once felt unbearable. It reminds us that even in hardship, joy is still possible. Lesson 9.11. Focus inward. We have far more control over our own thoughts, choices, and habits than we do over the people around us. And yet, how often do we exhaust ourselves wishing others would change? How often do we get tangled in frustration, anger, or disappointment when the world stubbornly refuses to bend to our will? The truth is, expecting others to conform to your vision of how they should be is a recipe for endless resentment. People will be who they are, regardless of your hopes or demands. Instead of investing your energy in trying to alter what's outside of you, turn your attention inward. Focus on refining your own character, your own habits, and your own reactions. Notice where you can grow more patient, wise, compassionate, and disciplined. Isn't it far more productive to govern yourself than to attempt to govern the world? When you catch yourself wishing someone would behave differently, pause, redirect that impulse toward yourself. What can you control in this moment? How can you respond in a way that aligns with your highest values? By focusing inward, you reclaim your power. You free yourself from the exhausting pursuit of molding others to fit your expectations. In doing so, you cultivate a life of greater peace, resilience, and personal integrity. In the previous part, we reminded ourselves that instead of wasting energy trying to change others or forcing the world to bend to our will, we should focus on mastering ourselves, nurturing a calm mind, and building steady character. Because when you're grounded, no storm from the outside can easily knock you down. And continuing on that path, the next question to ask yourself is, what virtues can I cultivate within? Lesson 12. Lead by example, not by demands. Ask yourself every day, what good qualities do I want to nurture? How can I embody those values, instead of expecting others to change first? As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. B1. We grow not by constantly wishing others would improve, but by steadily working on ourselves, our actions, our thoughts, our habits, and when you do this quietly yet consistently, others will notice, and sometimes, they'll adjust themselves without you having to say a word. Action, after all, speaks far louder than words. Of course, with those closest to you, who sincerely seek to grow, offer gentle guidance and heartfelt support. But remember, everyone has their own pace and their own path. Forcing or judging them often backfires. Give them space to choose for themselves, it's their life to live. When you commit your energy to self-development and nurturing your own virtues, you'll find yourself less bothered by what others do or don't do. Tend to your own garden first, and the rest will follow. Lesson 13. Live simply. We've all been caught, at least once, in the endless chase for money, status, and possessions, fancy homes, expensive cars, the latest gadgets. All these things promise to fill some emptiness inside, yet often leave us feeling hollow. When you catch yourself overly fixated on acquiring luxurious, non-essential things, pause and ask, what emptiness am I really trying to fill? Why am I tying my worth to outward appearances and material objects? Learn to live simply. Buy what you need, mindfully, ethically, and with purpose. Choose well-made, lasting things, but avoid unnecessary excess. Seek joy in what money cannot buy, time in nature, great books, genuine friendships, meaningful conversations, and simple moments with loved ones. And never forget the personal cost of chasing blind ambition and material gain. Modern society cleverly convinces us that happiness lies in having more. But as Seneca put it, it is not the man who has too little who is poor, but the one who hankers after more. Wealth can ease certain life burdens, but beyond a certain point, more money adds little to lasting happiness. Learn to distinguish between the means of living and the meaning of life. The most precious things are wisdom, kindness, character, and the ability to fully realize your unique gifts. Lesson 14. Be humble. It's all too easy for us to overestimate our role in how things turn out. When life goes well, We rush to claim the credit, forgetting the influence of luck, help from others, and countless external factors. Practice catching yourself when you feel tempted to think it was all you're doing. Likewise, when things fall apart, don't heap all the blame upon yourself. So many forces are always at play, beyond your reach. Seneca once said, "All is opinion, and opinion is not truth." The world moves according to its own laws, and our senses, clouded by bias and emotion, often mislead us. Keep a modest perspective about your importance in the grand scheme. We're here for a brief moment in time. Individuals come and go, but life marches on. Do your part well, live meaningfully, but avoid seeking pedestals. Cultivate strong self-belief, balanced by a light, detached acceptance when life veers off course. Influence what you can, but don't flatter yourself when the universe has other plans. Lesson 15. Silence is golden. Have you ever noticed how often we impulsively blurt out whatever crosses our mind, only to regret it later? Words carry great power, and sometimes silence holds even greater wisdom. Observe yourself when you feel the urge to react or say something out of impulse. Pause for a beat. Ask, is what I'm about to say truly necessary? Will it benefit anyone? Or am I just seeking momentary satisfaction for my ego? Speaking your mind isn't always the wisest move. There are moments when staying silent is kinder than casting words like stones. And even when your words are truthful, if spoken at the wrong time, they can cause harm. Learn to speak less, listen more, and only voice what truly needs to be said, when your words are a gift, not a blade, because sometimes silence is the purest expression of wisdom and compassion. Following our reflection on humility and the power of well-timed silence, let's move on to another virtue that the ancients greatly valued, the art of restraint in speech. Lesson 14. Listen more. Speak wisely. Sometimes, the problem isn't in harsh or harmful words, but simply in saying too much that doesn't need to be said. As Epictetus wisely reminded us, nature gave us one tongue and two ears so that we may hear twice as much as we speak. Make it a habit to listen more than you talk. And before you say anything, pause and ask yourself, is this true? Is it kind? Is it useful? Will it improve upon silence? If the answer is no, take a deep breath and let the urge to speak pass. Not every thought needs to be voiced, and not every opinion demands a debate. Of course, you should still speak when it's ethical, necessary, and meaningful, but know that the cost of excessive, careless talking is often needless conflict and scattered energy. By practicing mindful silence, you'll gather your mental strength, avoid unnecessary disturbances, and maintain a calmer, more focused spirit. Lesson 15. Ama fati, love your fate. Instead of constantly complaining about unpleasant circumstances or fighting against what you cannot change, the Stoics teach us to accept reality mindfully. When you encounter frustration or setback, pause for a moment and ask yourself, how can I engage with this constructively? Rather than resisting what's beyond your control, learn to face it head-on and turn obstacles into opportunities to practice virtues like courage, wisdom, and justice. For example, financial hardship can teach you the art of voluntary simplicity. Illness can strengthen your resilience. Betrayal sharpens your discernment of true friends. Epictetus wisely advised, do not seek for events to happen as you wish, but wish for them to happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity. Take reasonable action to improve what you can, but learn to welcome the rest without bitterness or self-pity. Ama fati means embracing both joy and adversity with an open heart. When you stop resisting life's currents, you'll discover how every challenge carries a hidden gift, a lesson in disguise, a chance to grow. Lesson 16, Memento Mori, remember you must die. This might sound somber at first, but in truth, it's one of the most liberating lessons you'll ever learn. Regularly reflecting on your mortality offers invaluable clarity amidst life's daily worries and petty frustrations. No matter how overwhelming your current problems feel, they are temporary. You, me, and everyone we know will one day leave this world behind, along with every earthly trouble, desire, and attachment. When you hold this fact in mind, you gain perspective. It won't leave you in despair. Quite the opposite. It lifts you up by reminding you what truly matters. The awareness of death makes every fleeting moment infinitely precious. Memento Mori pushes you to live fully, to use your talents boldly, and to express your love without hesitation, before the opportunity slips away. Imagine for a moment, if today were your last day. How would you want to spend it? Who would you call? What would you finally say? Seneca put it beautifully, let us prepare our minds as if we had come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing, no one has promised us tomorrow. Live wisely and earnestly, here and now, the present moment is all we truly possess. And when you embrace life's impermanence, you'll discover the freedom to live without fear and the courage to let trivial concerns fall away. If you've stayed with me until this point, thank you for watching all the way to the end. If any of these Stoic lessons resonated with you today, feel free to start a discussion in the comments below. I always enjoy reading your reflections. It's the kind of meaningful conversation that thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca believed in. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss future content. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope you find peace, strength, and serenity along your Stoic path.